Okay, here we are in Camtasia. This is going to be the first demo video for how to use these templates. We'll start with a simple one, and then we'll move on to a more complex one. Let me first get my file open here. We're going to start with the tinted glass template, which is this one you can see here. And I'm going to work in Camtasia for the Mac. Camtasia for PC is very similar, and other video editing apps and slideshow apps are very similar. With Camtasia, the first thing you want to do once you've got the main window open is you want to go to the Adjust Canvas and make sure that you're picking the proportions you want. So if you're going to work in high def, you want to pick one of these two settings. And let's see, 720p, 1080p is the high def proportions I'm using. There's actually two high def proportions. So we'll pick that one and apply it. And you can see you've got a blank window here to work with. So now the next thing you do is you want to pick your working files. And I recommend you pick all the files, including this composed file. And I'll show you why right now. Anyway, let's drag these in. You can also use just the upload function as you do with a web browser or other apps. Now, the reason this composed file is here is because this is the first one you want to drag in. And what you want to use this for is as your reference. This little button over here opens up a scaling tool in Camtasia, and I'm going to scale this up to get an idea of how big it needs to be. Looks like 200% thereabouts. Let's try 200. Yeah, 200 is a little bit too big. Let's try 195. Okay, 195 is a perfect fit. Now what I recommend you do is use this as your reference tool and you knock the opacity back to, 40%, 50%, whatever works for you. Just so you got a frame of reference as to how you're going to build these other items. And then what you do is you just go over and you start with the background. And you can see it's creating layers down here. So I'm going to drag this one in. And I'm going to scale it up to 195. And then, I can, by the way, in Camtasia, you can grab this little guy as your handhold. But I'm going to, position this approximately over here where it looks like on my my little composed file. And then, I'm going to knock the opacity back a little bit so that I've got a translucent effect, which is what, this is called, let's see, this can't even remember the names of these darn things. I got so many of them. Tinted glass. Okay, so, we want this to have, if that's what you're going for, that's what the design is for, is to have kind of a tinted glass effect. So you're going to want to have some transparency here. And then this piece that overlaps, which gives it kind of the double transparency value, then you drag this in. You can see it's creating more layers over here. So we're going to make this one go 195%. Boom. And then we're going to drag it into position. And we can play with the opacity if we want to make it less opaque. We can make it almost entirely translucent. It's up to how you want to use these things within certain limits. And then the other thing I need to do is drag. I want to just show you how this works when it's composed. So I'm going to drag this clouds in. This is actually a bit of video. And open this window up a little more. Scale this down. See the whole thing. And I'm going to put this video on the bottom layer. I didn't like that, but that's what I'm going to try and do here. Sometimes Camtasia is a little hinky and you have to make it cooperate. So we'll move those up, drag this in. So now we can get rid of this. Actually, we can get rid of the the composed file that was showing us where everything needs to go, because now we know where our elements are going to go. And I'm not going to deal with the type issues in this using this template, but if you wanted to perfectly match where the type is and everything here, then you might want to leave it. But I'm just going to get rid of it for right now. I'm going to drag that over, scale it up. Okay, and then I'm going to extend these out to the full duration, more or less. And then we can see the transparent effect looks pretty cool. The background layer, I want to take it, let's see, can we see the stuff moving behind it? Not too well, so I'm going to make it about 85. Now you can see the clouds moving behind all the glass. Okay, that looks really cool. And then what we want to do here is, because of the fact that everybody has different fonts and all that sort of stuff, and bringing type in from Photoshop is a little more complicated. I'm going to show that in the next video. Actually, I see this is a little off center vertically. This is the graphic designer in me. Everything's got to be, just right. And but I'm going to show you how to do type here in, using Camtasia, and you can do similar things, obviously, with your own version of Camtasia or a similar program. So in Camtasia, you come over here to annotations, and you go, okay, well, I like this font. So you drag it out there, and you go, please watch. This has got to be opened up, obviously. Please watch this video. Bang. And move it up here. And make sure that it's, going to last however long you want it to last. If you want it to drop out, after 5 seconds or whatever, you can see it's going to drop out there. So then you put some other type in. Let's put this down here, and this one will be mywebsite.com or whatever. If you wanted to use type in this area, which of course is the reason for this sort of tongue sticking out here. Again, you can use any of the different type, or you can use it in Camtasia. It's got a box effect, which you can use. You could put a box on top of that tongue if you wanted the type to really pop, or you can make the background part transparent and just use the box as the boundaries in which to fill in, so you get nice cleanly ragged type in there. So you can see that this is pretty flexible how you can use this. And for example, this tongue, if it's if it was sticking out too far, you didn't want it that far into your picture, you can move it. Again, these pieces are designed to be pretty modular, so you can kind of adjust it as you need to go. And that's basically it for using one of the simpler templates. In the next video, I will do a more complex template to show you how one of those works, and we'll move forward. Thanks for watching. I forgot to do one thing, so let me show you that real quick, and that is to add a logo in. And I'm just going to use one of my logos here for the sake of argument. But again, it's a real simple process. You just drag your file in, and whoop, Camtasia, you can just grab the corner and drop it in wherever you want. This particular app allows you to, in video effects, add a drop shadow to your graphics. So I'm going to do that just for the sake of argument. Make sure it's black. Okay, and now I've got a drop shadow, and if I wanted to make it translucent for the rest of the, matching the rest of the effects, there we go. And so now, that's working. And then we could even make, if we wanted to, knock the logo back and give it a translucent effect, like you see on a lot of television and stuff like that. Though I wouldn't normally do that over other graphics. If I was going to have it up here, say over the live action, I might knock it back to translucent. If I was going to put it over other graphics, I would probably keep it opaque. But either way, that's how you add in your logo, and you're good to go.